Hey guys, welcome back to day 3 of my experience at the Mayo Clinic Pain Rehabilitation Center. Today was a rough day. Some good stuff, lots of exercise, which is good. There was stretching and yoga and strength training. All of it was great. There was some really hard topics today. Today we discussed something that I don't know why I never really thought about it, but after you'll hear it, you can see that it's very relevant to pain and suffering. And today what we talked about was grief and loss. Grief and loss. When I think about grief and loss, I think about loved ones that have passed on, ones that have gone too soon or that have just gone when it's their time, but it's still hard and hurtful. Well, the truth of the matter is that if you are a chronic pain sufferer, that we go through grief and loss too. This isn't a death of a family or a friend or a loved one. This is a grief and a loss of who we used to be. Now, for me, it's a little bit harder. The reason why is because originally when my pain started, I was about 18 years old and I've been living with my pain. It got really bad when I had my first daughter and it got super bad after I had my second daughter. So let's say 3 years ago. Let's go to 2019 when I got my stimulator put in my back and we'll start there. Today's topic was, as pain survivors and pain people, we have to look at who we used to be and let that person die, because it's an old image of what we were. When I say die, I don't mean die, really. I mean, it needs to go on. It needs to cease to be so that we can grow into something else. It's kind of like this. There's a really famous picture that they showed us, and it's a picture of you looking out a window of a car. So in the rear view mirror, you have this incredibly clear picture, and it shows trees in the street, and it's like our life. We all know what's been behind us: sadness, upset, disappointment, happiness, joy, things that we've experienced without this horrible pain, and all of that gets jumbled up together. Well, for pain sufferers and a lot of people, the going forward is scary because it's unknown. It's blurry. Sometimes we're going so fast that we don't see the things around us. So it's easier to focus on the stuff that's behind us that we know is there and we can remember and that we've experienced. But how does that let us explore and be excited about going forward? Well, through grief and loss. When I got my spinal cord stimulator, I thought things were going to be better. I thought, oh, this is going to fix my back. My world's going to come so much full circle and it's all going to be wonderful. And here I am in 2021 telling you that's not the way it worked for me. I have my 3-year-old who, more than anything in the world, I would love to teach her how to ice skate. I had a friend growing up, shout out to Chris, who taught me how to ice skate when I was younger. And I got to work with my daughter, Peyton, when she was learning how to ice skate. I got to be there when she was learning how to play hockey. And I was on the ice with her, and I was hustling her, and I was skating with her, and I was enjoying the experience. And I had to let that vision of wanting to do that die. And because realistically, I shouldn't be on the ice and fall on my spinal cord stimulator or my back with what's going on. And even though I want to, some of those things just have to go, like right now, I would never water ski with how my back is. I don't like water skiing, so it's not really a big deal, but something like that would have to die, to disappear. But what does that mean? That means that I can be sad that things are going. One of my biggest for me is I'm an artist, as lots of you know. Some of you who don't, I'm an artist. I used to be able to sit and draw and sketch and paint and do whatever I wanted for hours on end. And I was precise in my lines and my details. And I loved how my stuff came out. But as my pain has progressed, I've found it's harder to focus and to do the lines and to sit there for long hours. And that doesn't mean that I have to stop painting. It just means that old self of me that could sit there for hours and get a project done and, oh, wow, this is amazing, she's gone. And that's okay. And I can feel sad about that. And I can grieve that part of me that's gone. I can grieve the part of me that can't do the same things for my 3-year-old that I could for my 11-year-old. And that's okay. Who out there is going to understand what I'm going through? Well, some of you maybe, but realistically, this is my battle. This is my feelings. So I'm the one who has to grieve it and feel this loss. But once I grieve it and I feel this loss and I move on from it, I can grow from it. I can modify the person I used to be and things I used to do into things that are now going to become the new me. The new me might not go back on the ice. I don't know. I'd love to, but we'll see. But the new me can still paint and draw, but maybe just for limited amounts of time. The new me can still interact and play with my kids. The new me can focus on doing stuff with my family and can go camping and can swim and can do so many things. We can do it all. But it's going to look a little different than what it used to. And that's okay too. And as pain sufferers and anyone who's gone through surgeries or anything else, your outcome and what you expect is something completely different sometimes than what happens. So we learned about the loss and the grieving, and it goes kind of hand in hand. We also learned about coping. Are we coping? What is coping? Is there positive coping? Is there negative coping? Of course, there's all of these. Coping, there's positive ways to cope, but even positive ways to cope when done too much or in the wrong way, in the wrong mindset, can be negative. Humor. Oh, I love funny things, but there's a time to be serious and a time where it's not so funny and we have to be serious and we have to cry and we have to feel these emotions. There's also talking to people. I have a few of you out there that, bless your hearts, you'll sit with me and let me complain about what's going on. But I don't want to be that person that complains about myself all the time. I wouldn't want to sit with someone who complains about themselves all the time. That's not what friends are. Friends talk about what's going on, exciting. There has to be positive. There has to be things that are uplifting in your life, not just the negative. So when we talk about coping, we have to look at how we're coping, if we're coping, and is it a positive way of coping or a negative way of coping? Are we coping through the losses that we've had? Are we grieving the proper way? Are we just avoiding it? Are we locking ourselves quietly in a room so nobody can talk to us and that because we feel alone and dark inside? Or are we out there talking to other people and telling everyone, what's going on? I personally like to talk about what's going on with me, hence why you're seeing this, because I'm hoping there's someone else out there that it might help. So day 2, technically day 2 of the program was great, but it's emotional. We all have tissue boxes in our boxes at, the program for a reason. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It's eye-opening, and I hope that maybe this will open up some other people's eyes as well. I hope you guys all have a great evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.